Okay, so now we're gonna set up the tart dough for our fruit tart. Essentially, similar makeup as a pie dough, okay? Just like a pie dough, we can blind bake our crust, our tart crust, because essentially what is a fruit tart? It's very similar to a vanilla cream pie with fresh fruit topped on top. The fruit is then glazed. That is essentially a fruit tart. So we need to blind bake our crust just as if it was a pie. So we're gonna go ahead and knock that out real quick. We're going to roll out our dough. It's been chilling for a while. It's pretty solid now. It should be ready to go. This shouldn't be too tacky of a dough, but a little bit of flour on the table might not be a bad idea. And then we're gonna start rolling. There's not a whole lot of gluten development in it. So just like a pie dough, you gotta work with it a little bit. If it starts to break right here on the front, kind of push it back together and form it. It's not perfect. Pie dough can be a pain in the butt, but do your best. Now, the difference from pie dough is we're gonna keep this a little bit thicker than, say, a pie dough. We're gonna try to. I think I got enough dough here. But as it starts to break right here, I'm just gonna try to form those pieces back together, kind of press them down. I'm gonna keep going. See, I like my big rolling pin. Make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of the table because it's so fragile. If it sticks at all, it's gonna be a pain to keep it together. It's looking good so far. I might switch my tart pan. No, we should be able to do this. Normally you would try to keep it a little bit thicker than pie dough because I'm not sure if I can fit this whole pan. We're gonna go just a little bit thinner. I don't think it's sticking, so we're good. Looking really good, looking good. We're gonna go just a little bit further. And I think we should be ready to go. So now we're gonna try to get it into our tart pan. Tart pan, like a pie tin, it's not a bad idea to spray a little paper, round paper, parchment paper circle on the bottom. It's not a bad idea either. You spend so much time making this beautiful tart, you don't want it to get stuck to your pan, right? Should be big enough now. We're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. So we're gonna use our rolling pin to help us get this dough up off the table and onto our tart pan. Sticking just a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. We'll start using this rolling pin, make sure there's a lot of flour on it. And we're gonna start to roll it up onto the rolling pin. Sorry, had to get some cookies out of the oven. Okay, here we go. Let's keep rolling it up. Gently, use your rolling pin. And now we're going to place it onto our fluted tart pan. Line it up as best as you can. A little overhang is what we're going for, right? And then we're going to gently roll it into our tart pan. I probably could have moved it a little bit more this way. So if you want to move it, just gently get it back on that rolling pin. And we can move it a little bit. But I think I'm actually going to leave it there. That doesn't look too bad. You just seal up that edge right there, and you're good to go. Kind of let it gently drape into your tart pan a little bit. A fluted tart pan is rather sharp on the edges, so once it does set into place, it's really not going to move a whole lot. So you want to kind of help it gently drape inside the pan as best as you can so that it sits down in there. There we go. That looks good. Now we're going to use our rolling pin to finish it off. Because it's such a sharp edge, you just use a rolling pin, go flat around on the top, and it cuts itself right out. Boom. And you can go ahead, trim off the excess, and you have a beautiful tart shell. You can kind of press it a little bit more into the pan, get it to set up nice, relax. Then we are ready to go to blind bake it. Now, just like a pie shell, we need to, one, dock it, put some holes in the bottom of the tart shell so that it does bake thoroughly through. And then we are going to weigh it down. Either weigh it down with a pie weight, weigh it down with another pan. For me, I'm going to use these old school baker beans. And these are just a plain dried bean product. It won't affect the flavor. It will just be heavy enough to weigh it down so that the tart shell or pie crust doesn't bubble and balloon up in the center. That's all we're trying to avoid here. So enough beans so that it doesn't pop up. It weighs itself down. And then we're gonna go ahead and blind bake this bad boy at 375 degrees.